You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. Wow, blink twice today, and you missed a huge development in the confirmation battle over Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court. A surprise twist just before the committee voted to move Kavanaugh's nomination to the full Senate as protests erupted around the country. ABC's Emily Rao is at the Capitol.
So many major developments here on Capitol Hill today. We now know that FBI investigation the Democrats have been asking for will happen after Chairman Grassley made the request of President Trump, and all because of Senator Jeff Flake's last-minute change of heart. The historic vote moves Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation to the full Senate and one step closer to the nation's highest court. But with a surprise twist, Senator Jeff Flake, a critical swing vote, adding a condition.
I think it would be proper to delay the floor vote for up to but not more than 1 week in order to let the FBI continue to do an investigation.
Just hours before, Flake cornered in an elevator by sex assault survivors after he announced plans to support Kavanaugh.
We demand to know what you're thinking.
And that anger spilling onto the steps of Capitol Hill and into the streets of America. The chairman of the Judiciary Committee defending his decision to move forward.
There's simply no reason to deny Judge Kavanaugh a seat on the Supreme Court on the basis of evidence presented to us.
Earlier Friday, some senators walking out in frustration.
I'm not going to participate in this charade anymore.
Thursday's explosive hearing eliciting drastically different interpretations, but shared disgust.
My family and my name have been totally and permanently destroyed.
And the president reacting to the latest turn of events, leaving it to senators to figure out.
They'll make their decisions, and they've been doing a good job and very professional.
In a statement, President Trump says that FBI investigation must be limited in scope and be finished in less than a week. This evening, both Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford have said they will cooperate. On Capitol Hill, I'm Emily Rao, ABC News. Now back to you.
I want to know what you think over the next hour, and we're gauging it in two ways. We have put up our own poll on our Facebook page. Go to the ABC7 Facebook page and vote on whether you agree with the Senate's decision to delay the vote on Judge Kavanaugh's nomination for a week. Pending an FBI investigation, we will also be sharing your comments in real time. Just go to our Facebook page. But first, let's get a check on our today, the battle over the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing has more twists and turns and roller coasters than Busch Gardens. After hearing from Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and a combative Judge Brett Kavanaugh yesterday, the Senate Judiciary Committee seemed poised to pass his nomination to the Supreme Court out of committee to the full U.S. Senate, after a key Republican, Jeff Flake, announced he would vote for him. But then, in a gripping scene, the Arizona senator was cornered in an elevator by women claiming they were victims of sexual abuse. Flake was berated. A short time later, he upended the process, telling the committee he's only going to vote to move the nomination to the full Senate once there is a 1-week pause for an FBI investigation. And late today, the Senate and President Trump agreed. Joining us for more are Lynn Larson of the Sarasota Republican Party, Cheryl Wilson, the chair of the Manatee County Democratic Party, and Wendy Marsh, political correspondent for the Tampa Bay Times. We will begin our conversation in a moment, but now let's head over to meteorologist Steve Newman with the First Alert forecast. Steve.
Alan, a hot day today. It's going to be a hot Saturday as well in the absence of the afternoon and evening thunderstorms that we really like to get. High temperature today, 94 at Tampa, 92 at Fort Myers, 90 at Miami. But you add the humidity, the feel-like temperature was over 100 degrees earlier today. In fact, at 4 o'clock, it felt like 103 at the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. Current temperature now in the 80s, but that was our high this afternoon. Current temperature at the airport is 85. The dew point 76. That is really Amazon jungle, rainforest, humid. Humidity 74%. The sea breeze is trying to kick in, but there's such a strong flow from the Atlantic that it's not making it very far inland to trigger those thunderstorms. Our high this afternoon, 90, a couple degrees warmer than normal, and we're ending September as the hottest September on record along the West Coast. It sounds like a broken record, but that seems to be happening month after month, year after year, at least nearly breaking the record. Now, across the state, a few cooling storms, as I just mentioned. We're not seeing them develop. Maybe they'll return Sunday, but tomorrow will be equally as hot as today. Radar shows storms to the south of us, very heavy rain with lightning to the north of us, but there is a chance we'll see some developing during the evening hours that will give us some relief by midnight. You can see those storms moving across Sanibel, Captiva Island out into the Gulf of Mexico. You want to talk about winter? Look at this. It's snowing. And International Falls tonight will be 25 degrees. It's going to be a long time before we get a cold front bringing us that kind of cool, or any kind of cool, in fact. But tonight we have our future radar, and here's what you need to look out for. We'll have those storms maybe developing 8, 9 o'clock and then moving offshore. So that's what we're going to be watching out. So make sure you have your app with you at the football game tonight because you could see some storms with some lightning. Not likely, but there is a chance that you could see them develop. And here's my forecast for the evening hours. Our weather planner that takes us, it's going to be warm, 84. The temperature at 8 o'clock, slowly cooling off into the upper 70s, the mid 70s by dawn. And that's our weather.
Thanks.
Oh, by the way, take a look at our first weather app. I just mentioned if you're out and about, make sure you have that app because it has a radar on demand there and our local forecast and shows the future radar as well. That's your weather.
Okay, thanks, Steve. So, wow, folks, as I said, if you blinked today, you missed a huge event. The day began with Jeff Flake announcing that he was going to vote for Judge Kavanaugh, and that seemed to be it. And then, as I just reported, that scene in the elevator, let's take a look one more time at what happened. In the elevator. All right, well, that's the committee hearing. So, Lynn, all right, here we go.
On Monday, I stood in front of your office with Addie Barkan. I told the story of my sexual assault. I told it because I recognized in Dr. Ford's story that she's telling the truth. What you are doing is allowing someone who actually violated a woman to sit in the Supreme Court. This is not tolerable.
All right, so Lynn.
You have children in your family. Think about them. I have 2 children. I cannot imagine that for the next 50 years, they will have to have someone in the Supreme Court who has been accused of violating a young girl. What are you doing, sir?
I was sexually assaulted and nobody believed me. I didn't tell anyone, and you're telling all women that they don't matter.
All right, so just moments after that, Lynn, he walked into the hearing room and asked for a delay of a week for an FBI investigation. That, in fact, happened. Do you think, I mean, what was your impression when you saw this all playing out this morning?
Well, I think it probably was the best thing that could have happened at this point because it will give a chance to eliminate the FBI didn't investigate. And I don't think the FBI is going to come up with anything more than they have already. But that argument will be stilled.
Well, Cheryl, is a week long enough to not only investigate this case, but some of the other allegations that are out there?
The fear is that there may be so much that it would take more than a week, but we'll take the week. We'll get the investigation. The FBI had, or the opinions all through this had been that the FBI would be able to conclude things rather quickly.
Wendy, is there any way to really kind of gauge how people are thinking about this, especially with events moving so quickly?
No, not really. There's been polling done, but there hasn't been any done since the hearings. I would want to say that I have heard some reporting. I had the same question: what could the FBI do in a week? And I've heard some reporting that FBI officials are saying they can investigate at least Ford's allegations in a week.
Okay, we are coming up. Just our conversation continues. But your comments, we're going to hear them, and we're going to see what our local polling has to say about it, so stay with us.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, so wet.
Kettle's got it. Kettle's got it.
Kettle's got what you're looking for at Kettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Kettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Kettle's got that too.
Kettle's got it.
Visit Kettle.com.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do.
Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000.
Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beauty Rest, Eye Comfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
Welcome back. We are talking about the latest developments in the Kavanaugh nomination, and joining us for more are Lynn Larson of the Sarasota Republican Party, Cheryl Wilson, the chair of the Manatee County Democratic Party, and Wendy Marsh, the political correspondent for the Tampa Bay Times. But first, so what are you thinking? Our digital producer, Chloe Conboy, is tracking those comments. And Chloe, what are our viewers thinking?
Hey, Alan, right now on Facebook, we have about 53% yes that agree with the Senate's decision to delay the hearing for another week pending an FBI investigation, and it's 47% no. But during the ABC7 newscast tonight, we definitely want to encourage our viewers to keep participating in the poll. It will be open the duration of the newscast, but right now we will be keeping an eye on that and sharing viewers' comments coming up. But back to you, Alan.
So Wendy, we're seeing that it's pretty evenly split out there in terms of people who agree with what the Senate is doing in terms of taking this pause and those who don't. What do you make of that?
Well, there has been, as I said, some polling that was done before the hearings, and it showed a fairly even split in terms of people believing Ford versus Kavanaugh. Ford a bit ahead in the number of people who believe her, but the plurality were unsure. Now, this was before the hearing. My guess is since the hearing, both have gone up a bit, maybe Ford a bit more. She was the unknown quantity and did a good job. So that's why I'd say she went up a bit. I am not seeing local candidates rushing to take a stand on this. I think they're hanging back. They're unsure how the populace feels. Rick Scott, of course, is an exception, has taken a stand in favor of confirming Kavanaugh.
And Bill Nelson says he will vote against it.
No. I just have to say, though, there are two women running for office in Manatee County that have taken a very strong stand. Tracy Pratt and Liv Coleman. I haven't talked to them today about the delay, but I can't imagine that they don't applaud at least the step to take this investigation further.
But it's Rick Scott or Bill Nelson who are going to the U.S. Senate, and we know that after the Anita Hill hearings years ago, that really had an incredible impact on the number of women in government. But I'm wondering, Cheryl and Lynn, what you were thinking. we showed the elevator scene with Jeff Flake. Then he walked into the hearing room. We have that video. I want your impression of what Senator Flake did and said once he got in there.
I have been speaking with a number of people on the other side. We've had conversations ongoing for a while with regard to making sure that we do due diligence here. And I think it would be proper to delay the floor vote for up to, but not more than 1 week.
You know, Lynn, this comes after all the other Republican senators on the Judiciary Committee saying there was no need for this FBI investigation. He already underwent a background check.
I think he was trying to build consensus, and I think he was trying to reach out to the other side. And I believe that there were 2 other senators that were also not in that room that were questioning and wanted some more, wanted a little bit more. The problem is nobody's a winner in this. Nobody. Dr. Ford will forever, you know, her family has ruined, but also just think of Judge Kavanaugh. His family is ruined. His reputation is ruined, no matter what he does, and this is over something that has not been substantiated. And she's a very sympathetic witness, and I agree with that.
And Cheryl, I'm going to get to you in 1 second, but we have to pay the bills here. Our conversation on the Week in Washington continues right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast with Steve.
Glad to pay the bills for you, Alan. We've had a lot of clouds in the interior of the state, not so much right along the coast, so the sun shining down on us has been very intense today. But you can see the clouds thicken as we move through the evening hours, and you can see some of these buildups kind of developing in the interior that could develop into storms in the next 2 or 3 hours. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Currently at the Sarasota-Braden International Airport, beautiful new tower, 85. The temperature at the top of the hour, humidity is 74% with a very moist dew point of 76 degrees. We have that flow coming in from the southeast, and had there been a sea breeze developed today, we would have had some good storms, but that didn't happen today, and it won't happen tomorrow, maybe on Sunday. But we did have some storms down around Fort Myers to Naples that have now moved offshore. There's a better view of them on radar, see them developing, coming right across the state. So instead of having the collision, it's just the moisture that's coming in from the Atlantic being heated by the land, developing into storms that will be hit and miss through the evening hours and maybe as late as 1, 2 in the morning. Last night we had those thunderstorms just rattle our windows and wake a lot of us up again. That could happen again tonight. Tropical weather outlook. We do have a couple of things to talk about, but not much. We have what's left of Leslie swirling around the North Atlantic. No threat to us, just to ships and fish and whales and other marine life. Tropical storm Kirk slowly weakening, barely a tropical storm with 40-mile-an-hour winds at 5 o'clock. By our late show, it should no longer be a tropical storm, and it's just going to dissipate as it moves across the Caribbean. The rest of the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, no signs of any tropical development. We may have gotten through this season. We'll keep our fingers crossed without any problems, but the Carolinas and Virginia, my goodness, there's still some rain moving across there, but the weather headline right now is the snow beginning to touch the United States along the Minnesota and North Dakota border tonight. There's freeze warnings all the way down for Wisconsin and Minnesota, and frost advisories down to the suburbs of Chicago. You can see it's already down to 51 at Minneapolis. International Falls tonight will be down to 25. We do have a cold front that is approaching us very slowly, but it's not going to pass on through. In fact, we can see in this futurecast for the next day or so, it becoming stationary, just kind of wobbling down there. But look at the other end of it. This cold front does have the potential on Tuesday and Wednesday of coming through the back door, just brushing us as it dissipates, bring in slightly cooler air and slightly drier air, but you're probably not even going to notice it unless you're actually looking at the temperature every day. Here's our boating and beach forecast. East-northeast winds tomorrow, 10 knots. A great day to go boating with seas only 2 feet or less. Bay and inland waters will have a light chop. And if you're going to the beach, the water temperature just the way I like it, 87, 88 degrees. The air temperature 88 to 92, but it's going to feel hotter than that. You're going to want to dip in the water, and we've heard in our reports today that really is not a problem. Partly cloudy and warm tonight. Our low temperature 74, pretty close to normal. And for tomorrow, a partly sunny to sunny day with a high temperature a little warmer than normal, high around 92, and only the slightest chance we'll get any relief from a passing thunderstorm. Here's your 7-day. Hot, H-O-T hot tomorrow with only a 20% chance of those storms, high 93. A little bit cooler with a greater chance of storms on Sunday, but look at that front coming through the back door, bringing us slightly cooler air as we can see in the overnight low temperatures, but it doesn't do anything for the daytime highs. Alan will be back with his guest right after these words. Stay with us.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid. Your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-965-2704.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-965-2704.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Sun Coast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Welcome back. We are talking about the latest developments in the Kavanaugh nomination, and joining us for more are Lynn Larson of the Sarasota Republican Party, Cheryl Wilson, the chair of the Manatee Democratic Party, and Wendy Marsh, political correspondent for the Tampa Bay Times. So Cheryl, you were getting ready to jump on Lynn.
I was jumping in. I won't jump on Lynn.
But what was your point?
Well, my point is, number one, that elevator scene with Jeff Flake was difficult to watch. We're talking about numbers, and I'm very glad that you're polling to see how people are reacting. But this is more than a numbers discussion. This is very emotional, and we have seen this playing out locally. We have had women come into our headquarters in Bradenton, and they just want to talk and want to vent and want to share. And it's been very painful, just as painful as it was to watch that video with Senator Flake. But you know, we watched Senator Flake 2 days ago give a very impassioned speech on the Senate floor where he said, let's slow down, let's look at this, let's approach this from a compassionate and a real standpoint. So to think that 1 week would be a delay is just mind-boggling to me.
Lynn, I'm wondering what your take in terms of, I've been reading too much social media, and I see, and I talked about this yesterday, the language that people are using, whether it's about Dr. Ford or Judge Kavanaugh, that it's not really it's disturbing. I mean, you could believe her or not believe her, believe him, not believe him. But some of the comments that, you know, if this happened to her, why didn't she go to the police 30 years ago? Why didn't she tell her parents? We were young once. We know how these things work.
The good thing that is coming out of this is it's an opportunity for parents to sit down with their children
Absolutely.
and to tell them and to explain to them if something happens and you're afraid to tell me, to set them up with a counselor, a clergy, a special friend, so that there's somebody they can go to if they need to confide in someone, because this should have been investigated 36 years ago.
There's
if
another
there was
message,
something
though,
happened 36 years
another
ago,
message
there's
that
two other messages.
Parents need to send
There's
is
two
to
more
their sons.
messages.
There are messages to young men in what's going on here too.
But
And
I don't think men are villains.
Well, if there was a villain in this case, he happens to be male. But what the message is that you don't treat women this way, and number two, if you do treat women this way, it doesn't matter if 34 years pass.
Wendy, you've been a reporter for a long time now. Sexual assault is very serious, but we know when it comes to our children and our teenagers, they do a lot of things that we do not know about. And the incident that we're talking about, it was a sexual assault, but you can understand why this young woman, if it did happen, didn't go to her parents or the police.
It doesn't surprise me at all that a 15-year-old girl didn't go to the cops after an event like this. I have two daughters. It's the kind of thing that would be pretty devastating to talk about, to acknowledge that it happened. I think there are people who say, you know, boys will be boys. I think, though, that what Kavanaugh is accused of goes beyond what I think of as boys being boys.
Okay, we have to take a quick pause. We are just getting warmed up. Our conversation on the Week in Washington will continue after a quick break. Stay with us.
Venice Toyota's monumental model year-end clearance. Rates are rising. For a limited time, 0%. New Toyotas, $8,000 off. With Camrys and Corollas, your choice from $19,900 to $15,000. Shop 24/7 at VeniceToyota.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live. I live. She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate.
Or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
It's Venice Toyota's monumental model year-end clearance. Rates are rising. For a limited time, 0%. New Toyotas, $8,000 off. RAVs and Highlanders from $26,900 to $2,900. Shop 24/7 at VeniceToyota.com.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking about the latest developments in the Kavanaugh nomination, and joining us for more are Lynn Larson of the Sarasota Republican Party, Cheryl Wilson, the chair of the Manatee Democratic Party, and Wendy Marsh, the political correspondent for the Tampa Bay Times. But first, what are you thinking? Our digital producer, Chloe Conboy, is tracking the comments on Facebook. Chloe, what are you seeing?
Hey, Alan. Earlier today, we actually posted this post on our Facebook page asking people if they agreed with the Senate's decision to delay the vote on the Kavanaugh nomination for 1 week pending an FBI investigation. In just an hour, we had over 80 comments, and there are two specific comments that I wanted to point out to you guys. One was by the name of Candy. Candy says, no, it's a complete stall tactic. The Democrats wanted to delay the process. No new information will be discovered. It won't change anything. And then Judy, on the other hand, says, I think this whole thing has been mishandled by both the GOP and the Democrats. But now that it's all on the table, yes, we need an FBI investigation. We should have done that first. And coming up on Alan's final thoughts, I will be revealing the final poll results. So stay tuned and be sure to vote and cast your final vote in the poll on our Facebook page. Alan, back to you.
All right, thanks, Chloe. So there we have it in one of those comments. What is the big picture here? Because let's take for a moment whether or not Dr. Ford was telling the truth and whether Judge Kavanaugh was telling the truth. The allegation was not made up by the Democrats. The question is whether they are taking advantage of it in order to derail this nomination into the next year, where there's an increasing chance that the Democrats may take over the Senate, and it will be payback time for not going through with the confirmation process for Merrick Garland, who was nominated by President Obama. Cheryl, is that what is going on?
I would say two words. I would say Neil Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch was nominated. The Democrats were not pleased with that.
That did not tip the scales of the court.
No, but there was not a false accusation charge made against Neil Gorsuch to derail the nomination and to delay it. A very real concern has been expressed for this one. And then when we saw him yesterday, I think it even increased our concern about him. You saw a near hysterical nominee yesterday. You saw a nominee who was very flustered, who broke all protocol of those hearings, attacked or verbally attacked a senator who was being very gentle and kind with him due to his hysteria. So there are two things at play here. There's a seat on the U.S. Supreme Court, and then we have a very serious allegation that is societal in nature about the gentleman who has been nominated to that seat. So you got two big issues coming up.
If the Democrats were concerned about whether there was a concern on the judge, then they would have, Senator Feinstein would have turned over the information redacted when she received it. She would have contacted the FBI. She would have given information that did not include the woman's name. She would have also sat down with that woman and told her how serious this was and why she needed to cooperate now, so that this woman is not going out on the beach talking to people and doesn't call the Washington Post because nobody's listening to her.
You know, Wendy, when I run home on Friday nights and I watch Bill Maher on TV, and he, he's very opinionated, but he says, the Democrats have always played by the rules, and by the Republicans derailing the Merrick Garland nomination, the Republicans do what is needed to do to win, and that he says it's time for the Democrats to do the same. Is this what is playing out here?
Well, there's obviously that's obviously part of it. There's no question that Republicans want this nomination confirmed before the November election because they think they might lose the Senate. Democrats would prefer not to confirm it before the November election because they think they might win the Senate. That's the obvious subtext of what's going on here. As to whether this is what Feinstein was trying to do, that's a little more questionable. I don't see how the FBI could have investigated a redacted report that didn't include the name of a victim. Feinstein says that she was trying very hard to do what everybody does, including journalists, which is protect the confidentiality
and there's been
of a victim.
2.5 weeks since all of the controversy about whether there would be an investigation had started. So there could have been an investigation 2.5 weeks ago, which was requested.
You know, President Trump has alternated between staying out of it, being very well spoken, and let's see what happens, to really going out on the limb and attacking some of the accusers here. This was his reaction today after the Senate did what it did.
I thought her testimony was very compelling, and she looks like a very fine woman to me. Very fine woman. And I thought that Brett's testimony, likewise, was really something that I haven't seen before. It was incredible. It was an incredible moment, I think, in the history of our country. But certainly she was a very credible witness. She was very good in many respects.
Wendy, are you surprised by the president's response?
Well, I think Trump seems to me, I'm trying to read his mind here, but he seems to me to have been a little ambivalent on this. After Ford's testimony yesterday, he makes a statement that she was a credible witness and a fine person. Then after Kavanaugh testifies, Trump solidly, people thought that Trump might be wavering, but then after Kavanaugh testifies, Trump solidly comes out in support of him, and now the statement that you just heard. I think he may be a bit ambivalent. I don't know about wavering, but I think he might be waiting to see which way the wind blows.
I think Trump took advice today probably for one of the first times in his presidency. He didn't brush off the advice that he was given, and the advice was, I think, to tone it down. The nominee yesterday looked like Trump did the day before at his out-of-control press conference, and I think both of them have been advised to calm down a bit.
Lynn, are you concerned about the impact this is going to be having on Republican turnout in November? You know, we often talk about the impact of Republican women crossing over in last spring's House 72 special election. It seems that that was 1,000,000 years ago, and there's a lot more on the table now.
I think the president, in looking at it and saying, okay, I'm going to let the Senate handle this, I think that should bring in support from Republican women, because that was what, a woman who was questioning needed to hear at that point.
And Cheryl, you have seen an incredible increase in turnout for Democratic events in Manatee.
We have, and we have seen an incredible turnout right into our office this week. We had 2 women come in today. One said, put me to work, even if it's just for 15 minutes. I have to get my mind off of what's going on. Another woman came in and shared with us that she was a victim and that she had been silent for many years, and she brought our entire workstation to a halt today. But even more interesting was something that happened yesterday. I personally registered 2 voters yesterday. I registered 2 white men to vote yesterday. One is a month younger than me. He's 67 years old, told me he had never voted in his life. Another one was 19 years old and said, my family is very conservative. I can't live with this.
And Wendy, we are in the middle of a really competitive congressional race here. The 16th Congressional District, Vern Buchanan has his hands full with David Shapiro. It is getting a lot of national attention, but some people still believe, Shapiro may have a shot, but that's a really hard thing, a hard shot here. I mean, are Republicans nervous about all this story and everything going on?
Well, I think Buchanan is nervous because Shapiro is competitive. I would not say that Shapiro is winning or on the verge of winning, but I would say he's competitive. And you've got the same situation north of here in District 15 in the Dennis Ross seat, where you have where Ross is retiring and you have a competitive race. Again, I haven't seen any of the candidates in these races or in a number of other local partisan races jumping forward to take a stand on this. I have a feeling that they see it as radioactive. They want to stay away from it.
I want to pick up on that point in just a moment, but we have to take a quick break and we'll be back for final thoughts in a moment. Stay with us.
According to a new survey by U.S. News & World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford, credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Our guest joining us right now for final thoughts, but first, so what are you thinking? Our digital producer, Chloe Conboy, is tracking the comments. Chloe?
Hey, Alan, right now our Facebook page, for the Facebook poll we had a total of 410 votes in just 1 hour. 57% of you voted that you agreed with the Senate's decision to delay the vote on the Kavanaugh nomination for 1 week pending an FBI investigation. And 43% of you voted you did not agree with the Senate's decision. Again, we wanted to thank everyone for participating in our Facebook poll, and be sure to tune in on Monday night for the Florida Senate race for District 23 with Sarasota Republican Joe Gruters and Sarasota Democrat Olivia Babis. We will be giving our Facebook viewers a behind-the-scenes look as we Facebook Live the entire debate. So be sure to tune in Monday at 7. Alan, back to you.
All right, Chloe, thanks, and we are looking forward to that. But Cheryl, let's continue our conversation. And why isn't David Shapiro and other Democrats who are running talking about this issue as loudly as they can right now?
We're going to see David Shapiro and the 2 legislative candidates that I mentioned tomorrow morning, where we are going to blanket Manatee County with knocking on doors. And I'll be in David's ear, and I'll say that's something you will want to engage these people that you're knocking on the door about.
And Lynn, same question to you. I mean, it's the Senate who votes on this, but why aren't we seeing Vern Buchanan stand up and saying, I am concerned about this, I want this FBI investigation, and taking a firm position?
I think Vern Buchanan is doing the right thing because he's letting the Senate handle what the Senate does. But I did want to say, I have 5 grandsons and 4 granddaughters, and this is the best time for mothers to talk to their sons and daughters and mothers and fathers, because children need to understand, because we saw things from yearbooks written, you know, taken out of context, and so children need to understand what they say and what they do can follow them for the rest of their lives. It does not matter that they have spent 26 years in exemplary public service. It does not matter that.
And Wendy, wrapping up this conversation in terms of what is the strategy in Washington that's going on here, what is the Democrats and the Republicans' real strategy in terms of either getting this nomination through or blocking it?
Well, as we've said, it's obvious the Republicans want this nomination confirmed, fearing that they might lose the Senate in November. But what if the nomination doesn't get confirmed by them, and what if the Democrats win? Will the Democrats ever, in the next 2 years, approve a Trump nominee, or will they do something like, only worse, than what the Republicans did with Merrick Garland, leaving Antonin Scalia's seat vacant for 14 months because they wouldn't approve any nominee by Barack Obama? Will the Democrats turn around and do the same thing? What does this say about the functioning of our government?
You know, the Democratic Party opposed Kavanaugh before this issue came up, and a large part of that opposition was his position on women's issues and concern and fear about what that would mean for women.
So do Democrats...
This just exacerbated
would
that.
Democrats leave this seat vacant?
Depends upon who the president nominates. We were talking between the breaks here. Merrick Garland is still out there and would probably sail right through that Senate. So if the president really wants to get someone in there.
5 seconds, but you're shaking your head, Lynn.
There is no way the Democrats are going to let anybody that they think is a conservative be passed.
All right, we have to leave it there. Thank you all very much. We want to thank our guests, Lynn Larson of the Sarasota Republican Party, Cheryl Wilson, the chair of the Manatee County Democratic Party, and Wendy March, the political correspondent for the Tampa Bay Times, and Chloe Conboy, our digital producer here at ABC7. When we return, women across the nation traveling to Washington, D.C. to protest the Brett Kavanaugh hearing. What impact did they have? But right now, let's get a final check on our first alert forecast from meteorologist Steve Newman. Steve.
Alan, we're about to have a beautiful sunset. There's sunsets in progress right now across the Suncoast after a warm day with broiling sunshine, but there are clouds moving in from the interior that could produce some showers as we move into the evening hours. These are the current satellite images showing that flow from the southeast with a lot of moisture and with the heat of the land that could develop into thunderstorms for the next 4 or 5 hours. This is the future radar, and it's been waffling back and forth, but if we look through 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock into midnight, maybe we'll see some lightning offshore, but it's very chaotic out there right now, so hit and miss. Make sure you keep your weather app with you as you're out and about this evening, because there is a potential of storms developing, and you can check the app for radar and our latest forecast. There is a cool blast. There's cool air to the north of us, but it's probably not going to reach us on the Suncoast probably until late October at the earliest, maybe November. But it is going to be a cold night, the coldest night of the season, well up north, behind a couple of cold fronts. Right now it's 51 at Minneapolis and Chicago, very autumnal in the northeastern states. Taking a close look at the northern plains in southern Canada, 38 at Winnipeg, 37 at International Falls. International Falls will be down to 25 tonight. And with all that cold air, the National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning for a broad swath of the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, and frost advisories all the way down to the suburbs of Milwaukee and Chicago. Winter is not far away. Here are the cold fronts to the north of us. This does not look promising. It's going to go stationary long before it gets here, but you can see hit and miss thunder showers through the weekend, mainly in the interior and to the south of us. And this part of the cold front has a potential by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of brushing us from the back door, bringing slightly drier air. Not much of a temperature relief, but that's the only big change we've seen. And it's the first front of the season if it were to dissipate moving past us. Well, here's our 7-day outlook, and it shows that we will have very hot conditions again tomorrow with a 20% chance of showers, only the slightest chance to bring us relief. Overnight low 74 tonight, 93 tomorrow. That chance of rain goes up to 40% on Sunday and slightly cooler during the day, so it may not be quite as broiling with the increased cloud cover on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And then that backdoor cold front I was just showing you passing by Tuesday, Wednesday, Look at the overnight low temperatures, only 72 for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning, indicating slightly drier air, but that cold front doesn't do anything to the daytime high temperatures. And if anything, by the end of next week, and that drier air behind that cool front, chance of rain goes down to 20 to 30%. I started doing the weather on this station back in 1972, 46 years ago this month, and tonight will be my last night doing the weather as I end my weather career. It's been a pleasure working here at ABC7 again for the second time, and we'll see you again tonight at 11. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after these words.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
No one fighting breast cancer should have to walk alone. Join us at Nathan Benderson Park on Saturday, October 20th for the American Cancer Society Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk. Your donation will provide patients, families, and caregivers with critical information and support. You'll also help fund groundbreaking research and early detection. Join us on October 20th and help save lives. Go to makingstrideswalk.org to join a walk or to make a donation today.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Checking primetime headlines as the entire world watches the confirmation battle of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Women across the country are making their way to Washington, D.C., protesting in the nation's capital and outside the doors of the U.S. Senate. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
On college campuses, in bars, office buildings, even at 10,000 feet. Across the nation, millions of Americans have been glued to their screens, captivated by the drama unfolding in the Senate.
This hearing will definitely help inspire a national conversation about this and how we as a society perceive women.
Listening to every word in the testimonies of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford.
I can't just say, well, he's lying or they're lying. I'm not going to discredit neither one.
Many are doing more than just watching. Women from around the country have traveled to our nation's capital.
So we got in our cars, we got on the planes, and we got on the bus last night
to come down here to share our stories.
Some say they fear what the future will look like if Kavanaugh is nominated to the Supreme Court.
I have a 10-year-old daughter who's the freest person I know. I don't want her to grow up in Kavanaugh's vision for America.
Actress Alyssa Milano joins the anti-Kavanaugh protesters inside a Senate building.
I'm here to represent women and survivors, men and women that have survived sexual assault.
But others were there to support the Supreme Court nominee.
We are here today in support of Brett Kavanaugh.
But I don't think that it was Brett Kavanaugh had any part of it.
And aside from politics, this hearing has also put a spotlight on abuse. The National Sexual Assault Hotline says they saw a 147% increase above normal during Thursday hearing. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
As Maggie just said, the National Sexual Assault Hotline reports a over 200% increase in calls due to the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, it is not unusual to see an increase in calls when sexual assault is in the news. Since Christine Blasey Ford came forward with allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, the hotline has seen a 45.6% increase in calls compared to the same time last year. The organization did not say how many calls are expected after today's Senate Judiciary Committee vote. No, it is not okay to get high while you're flying, but it is now okay to bring pot on board a plane if you're traveling from Los Angeles International Airport. Marijuana is still illegal under federal law, but California's Prop 64 allows passengers to travel through LAX with up to an ounce. A statement posted on the official website of LAX says this week travelers can have weed in their luggage when flying through the airport, but that doesn't mean that you can get through security with it. TSA agents work for the federal government and can prevent entry to terminals if they find drugs. Also, marijuana laws vary state to state, so traveling with pot is a gamble. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.